What's up, everybody? Here we are, another Thursday night on the grind. That's crazy. That's crazy. There we go. I'm going to just let people get on here for a minute first. So anyway, here we are, another Thursday night on the grind. What's up, Pat Price? What's happening? Thanks for tuning in. Another Thursday night on the grind. Let's see, everybody's coming in. What's up, Mr. Davis? What's up, Miss Nancy? Let me get started real quick and first start tonight off with our good friends over at Hell Speed Shop, hellspeedshop.com. If you don't know by now, you ain't been watching. Hells has been a big supporter of the Grind Show for the last year and a half, almost 2 years. Actually, it's been longer than that. It's been almost 3 years. They've been proudly supporting us, and we're proudly supporting them. When it comes to flannel shirts, hats, t-shirts, banners, all that cool stuff, man, they have got you wrapped up, taken care of. You got to get over to hellspeedshop.com and check out some of their merchandise, because I'll tell you what, it is awesome stuff. So go check them out at hellspeedshop.com. Next up tonight is our good friends over at Urban Rides Magazine, urbanridesmagazine.com. Urban Rides Magazine on Facebook and all the social media platforms. They, let me get this set up. There we go, right there. Urban Rides Magazine, man, great publication. It's a digital copy. You can get your full print copies. Just go on to urbanridesmagazine.com. Get yourself a subscription. You won't be sorry. It is one of the best, if not the best, motorcycle related magazine out there. Go get you a copy. Next up is our good friends over at Jade Affiliated, which is jadeaf.com. Best motorcycle wheels out there. They are truly badass custom wheels. I personally have the Walter White, and you guys will be seeing it this next year, because we will be building that Super Road King that I'm building into a Street Glide powerhouse audio, massive system in it, full custom tilt, Insane Asylum kit. Man, it's going to be a monster. But you got to get over to Jade Affiliated at jadeaf.com and check out their wheels and order you some wheels, man. Next up right here, American Drag Seats, americandragseats.com. americandragseats.com. You need motorcycle seats, americandragseats.com. All the social media platforms, American Drag Seats. Go check it out. You got a Harley, you've got a custom American Iron Horse, you've got choppers, Bob. It doesn't matter. We build seats for everything. We can hook you up. AmericanDragSeats.com. Plus, I'm the owner. Next up, Legacy Bike Works. Legacy Bike Works here in Manville, Texas. Audio, full big wheel bagger builds, choppers, bobbers. Man, we do all kinds of builds over here. Plus, if we don't know something, we've got friends that do know something. So bring your bike down, check it out. Legacy Bike Works on Instagram and Facebook. Get it done right here in Manville, Texas. And last, but definitely not least, my good friend Earl Hopkins at hopkins-design.com. Very easy. You need a website. You need printing, you need a logo design, you need photos done, you need videos done. He can do everything. If you need anything, social media or websites, anything like that, you got to check him out at hopkins-design.com. So what's happening, everybody? Here we are, Thursday night on the grind, trying to get this camera set up for you. I see we've got a lot of people up in the house tonight. Man, tonight I've got some cool things to discuss, but at the end of the show, I'm going to start doing some trivia. So you got to watch the whole show if you want to get to the ass end where all the trivia questions are at. But some of the trivia tonight is going to actually involve motorcycle laws in Texas. Did you know what they are? Do you know what they are? We're going to tell you some of them right here later on tonight. So the first thing I want to get into, and the reason I want to get into this tonight is because right now, this is the perfect opportunity for everybody to be cool, man. Be cool. With the presidential election over now, Trump has won. I have noticed in the motorcycle world, we have some Kamala supporters. We had Trump supporters. We've got everybody, going this way, going that way. But at the end of the day, I've realized that, I've got friends that are on the liberal side and I've got friends that are on the conservative side. But the one thing I have is I have friends. That's what I have. I'm not against you if you stand on the left or you stand on the right, or if you're like me and you stand dead center in the middle. What I'm noticing, though, is all the trash talking back and forth. Now, let me explain who got a ticket. Nobody got a ticket yet, Sunshine, but I'm going to let you guys in on those couple of laws that I know for a fact people do want to know, but we're going to do it at the end of the show. So let's get back into what we're talking about. So we're talking about the division. We're talking about the motorcycle industry. As everybody knows, it's a pretty divided industry also. But one thing I noticed is the month before, when Kamala and Trump went through their debate and everybody was doing this and doing that and saying this and saying that, it got pretty heated. The people that I know, that I personally know, they stayed pretty cool with each other. They would rib each other and give each other shit, and I get that. That's all fun, but some people were taking it pretty far. And it amazes me sometimes, because when I see people take a stance on something and they take it too far. Look, here's a bottom line, people. If I gave you my personal opinion on abortion, or I gave you my personal opinion on any type or position in the spectrum of politics, you're going to get my opinion. You're going to get what I think is right. One of the things I was really getting off into is do a lot of people actually know how gasoline is made? And do you actually think the president controls the price of gasoline? The truth of the matter is yes. The truth of the matter is, how is gasoline produced? I know that. I worked in a chemical plant and a refinery. So I know things that a lot of people may not know about that specific topic. That doesn't mean I know everything about every topic. It's just that one topic. And when you start talking to somebody that doesn't feel the way you feel and they're uneducated about it, I'm not trying to beat them up with my knowledge. I'm trying to educate them with my knowledge. I also feel like that happens in the motorcycle world, is that when you have a piece of knowledge and you know something and you try to convey that to somebody else, especially in the motorcycle world, people tend to get really, really defensive. I don't understand the defensive side of it, because if I'm not mistaken, we're all here to make money and make some great memories and build some cool bikes. But if you don't know something and you're stubborn and you're hard-headed and you don't want to take the time to listen to somebody else because you think you know more, then you're an idiot. And I'll put it to you very plain and simple. You're an idiot. And here's why you're an idiot. If you're building a motorcycle and you're doing what a lot of the builders nowadays do, you get a bike like a Road King or a Road Glide or a Street Glide. You buy the bike, it sits there, and you're like, man, I really want to make a big wheel bagger, put the stretch bags on. You can go buy all of those parts, and you can put all of those parts onto a stock bike. You don't have to mess with the wiring harness. You don't have to mess with the exhaust system on most of the builds. You don't even really have to weld or do anything. I mean, they have a bolt-on kit for it, the bolt-on front wheel. They got the upgraded brake calipers. I mean, they've got everything built to where a novice person can build a bike. Now, here's where the funny part about this whole thing comes into play. So what happens is when you get a custom bike and you're doing it and you're really wanting to push the envelope, even if you're just adding parts, when you're talking to somebody else that's been doing it for a while, and they may have built some choppers, built some bobbers, built a couple of baggers, maybe a couple of soft tails, they've actually got their hands into a lot of it, not just that bagger part that you're looking at. So what I do, even though I feel very secure to build a bike, I know there's going to be some problems here and there, because I've built bikes from just a raw frame sitting there, no wiring in it, no electrical in it, didn't even have wheels on it. I had to do everything. But one thing I do is I call my friends, talk to my friends, tell them what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and then they offer up advice. They offer up the advice to me about, hey man, when I was doing it like this, man, we did this. When you get that kind of unsolicited advice, you can sit back and you can listen and you can take it in, or you can be an asshole and be like, dude, I know what I'm doing. You don't got to tell me nothing. The guy that just listens, even though he knows, he may learn something from that. The reason I'm tying this into the politics is because if I have a friend that is, let's just say, a hardcore Democrat, I'm not going to be afraid to talk to them about their political stance, because I want to hear what they have to say. I don't want to claim to be the smartest human being on the earth and just be a dumbass, but I also want to be educated. So I'm going to listen to both sides, take in all the information I can, do my own research, figure it out, blah, 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 blah. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to let politics come between me and what I would consider to be my good friends. Just like building bikes. When it comes down to wanting to build a bike and doing something, I'm not going to sit here and just say, well, I'm doing it myself. I'm not going to listen to you. No, quite the opposite. What I'm going to do is yeah, I'm going to build a bike, but you know what? I'm going to listen to you, hear what you have to say, talk to some people that have been doing it for a long time. Just get some conversation started, get some stuff going. And who knows, they may say something that sparks something. I'm like, oh shit, I could do it like that. And then just that one little thing that they said, because I had an open mind and I listened to them, that might spawn something that's going to be better than what I thought I was going to have. Back to politics. You're talking about politics and you're talking about all this, that, and the other. Well, if you're stuck on one side and you're never willing to listen, you're never going to learn. You're never going to know all of it. You're never going to be able to make a calculated decision on where you stand, because you only have one half of the opinion or the truth, or however you want to put it. Now, with that being said, it's the same when I talk to other people and they treat me that way. They're hard-headed. They're stuck on what they're feeling. I'm just like, you know what? At the end of the day, I love you. I want you to be happy. I want you to be successful. But you don't want to listen to anything I have to say because you're just being bullheaded. I'll end that conversation just as fast. Now, the topic that I'm talking about tonight is respectfully, it's about communication. The communication we have as human beings to be able to talk, to be able to discuss, to be able to relate. In some situations, you can relate to what's happened to another person, but it all has to do with communication. And I know that over the last, how long we've been doing this now? Since January of 2018. So 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've been doing this show for 6 years. And here it comes, as soon as January 25 gets here, that's our 7-year anniversary of doing this show. I've been told by so many people, man, your show's getting stagnant. Your show's getting boring. We're watching it. You're saying this, you're saying that. Here's what I have to say to that. So I have a lot of shit I can talk about, whether it's business, creativity, welding, auto mechanics. I can't discuss painting because I've never done painting, but I feel like I could probably do that. I've had so many shows over the last 6 years, almost 7 years, where I've discussed the business side of owning and operating your own business, not alone just the motorcycle world, but trying to get the point across just to get people to understand, hey, look, you know, you may be on a good run right now, but good runs don't last forever. Are you going to be able to weather the storm when the work stops? Are you going to be able to get through lean times? Because I'll tell you guys what, man, 2024 is an election year. Everybody's business has suffered some. I don't know how much, but I do know everybody's business has suffered some because people are holding on. Hold on, let me wait. Hold on, let me wait. I don't want to spend the money right this minute because I don't know who's going to be president, and I don't know what's going to happen to gas prices, food prices, the housing market. I don't know what's going to happen with all of these things. So I do know that everybody suffers. Did you put enough money back? Did you, have you ran specials? What have you done to try to weather the storm until the presidential race is over? Because no matter who would have won the presidential race, thank God Trump did, everything will pick back up, but we won't know what the prices of everything are until probably February, March, possibly even pushing into April. But things are going to pick up. I know they are. But did you put the money back? Did you run specials, do this, that, or the other to keep your business going in the interim? I know one thing that really, really works is networking. And what is networking? It's talking to people. You're going to deal with customers. You're going to deal with people that aren't happy with the work you give them. You're going to deal with people that just love everything about you. But you got to communicate. You got to talk to them. And if you're trying to build business relationships, those are just like any other relationship. You have to build that relationship. People have to be able to trust you. They have to be able to depend on you, and your word has to matter to a degree. You have to do what you say you're going to do. You have to run through the time frame that you say you're going to do it in. And it's hard a lot of times to do that because life gets in the way. You get sick. You've got, unexpected granddaughter visit, which I love. I will take a whole day off and tell everybody to kick rocks. When my granddaughter gets here, that's her time. I am with her. So if I have to put off work because I'm going to spend it with her, guess what? That work will be there Monday when I get back to work. But I do know that after this last month or so of talking to people, and the reason I'm bringing up the presidential debate and the presidency is because that was the focal point over the last 2 months. Everybody was like, oh my God, this, oh my God. And you could see it all over social media. People were just going nuts. Well, Kamala's going to win and Trump is this and Trump's going to win and Kamala's that. And, I'd like to believe that some of it was just, friends being friends. But I also know there's a lot of passion involved behind that people really don't want Trump as a president. People really don't want Kamala as a president. People really, they get behind that faith and they get behind that stance. But the one thing that's kind of cool to me is that a lot of people I noticed weren't getting shitty this time. They weren't being hateful and mean and nasty, which is awesome because at the end of the day, you shouldn't be getting nasty. You shouldn't be becoming a dickhead to somebody because they don't vote the way you vote or think the way you think. Like I said, I have opinions. I have my own personal opinions on a lot of this stuff. And I guarantee you, if I sit down with anybody, there's going to be a happy medium. I have two really good friends that are diehard liberals. And I was able to have conversations. I was able to talk. I was able to try to get my points across. They got their points across. Everything worked because there's a line of communication. Go back to the motorcycle world. As long as there's a line of communication in the motorcycle industry, if you're needing to buy parts, build bikes for people, do the audio thing, you're reaching out to your fellow builders or fellow friends and stuff like that build, as long as there's an open line of communication, man, you are going to get through it. It's going to be cool. I see a lot of comments popping up. As far as I recall, prices don't have a history of coming down. They do, and I'll prove it to you. So, Pedro just commented that as far as I recall, prices don't have a history of coming down. They do have they do have the history of coming down. Case in point, if anybody remembers back in 2007 when the economy was crashing, it was crashing in 2007. It was starting to go down in 2007. 2007 in a whole was a pretty great year, but 2008, because of what happened in 2007, the economy was crashing in 2008. Interest rates were crazy. Everybody was willing to lend anybody money with a credit score above 620 credit score. They would sell a house to anybody with a 620 credit score. No money down, all this, that, and the other. Interest rates, I want to say, were somewhere between 2 and 4% interest rates on home loans. Fast forward, interest rates got up damn near 7 or 8%. But they will come down, because I know for a fact in 2014 when I bought my house, my personal interest rate, for those listening, was only 3.24%. I financed my house for 3.24%, but I know for a flipping fact in 2009 interest rates were up to almost 8%. So yes, they do come down. Hello, Brandy. Thanks for watching. Brandy Lambert McCutcheon. Thanks for watching. Joe Morozes is watching. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. But hopefully, what's up, Kev? Hopefully, in the interim all of this, Trump does what he says he's going to do. Prices will go down, especially for gasoline. Now, if anybody was paying attention, last week before the presidency, I paid $2.69 per gallon for regular unleaded gasoline. I won't be able to tell if prices are truly going down until probably March or April, like I said. But I'm putting it out there. $2.69 was what I paid last Tuesday when I filled my truck up. Today, when I filled my truck up, I paid $2.39. It's only 40 cents or 30 cents, but it's 30 cents less. I'm not saying Trump had anything to do with that. What I'm saying is give it time. Prices could go down and things could get better. In the motorcycle industry, I can put that into perspective by saying, I don't know that the prices on motorcycles are going to go down. I don't know that the prices on the parts that we're purchasing are going to go down. Everybody wants to make money. Everybody wants to be able to enjoy the fruits of their labor. Oh, I see John Lynch, Kevin Beard, Scott Owens are watching. Thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all watching. But what I'm saying is not everything's going to go down. Not everything's going to go up. Some things are going to stay the same. Hopefully our living expenses is what's actually going to go down. But now that I see Scott Owens is watching, I want to bring up another topic about the bike builders and working together and, putting these things together to make this industry better. So let me ask you a question, and this is for everybody that's watching. Everybody that's watching. Have you purchased a part? And when you got the part, you went to put it on your motorcycle, whatever the part is, it doesn't matter. It could be handlebars. Have you ever looked at the part and said, man, if they would have done this, it would have been better? Have you ever taken the time to actually make the phone call? Good one, Scott. You know what goes up for us is our quality. Hell yeah. But have you ever taken the time to call somebody and say, hey, man, I just bought your parts. I'm putting them on. Man, they fit really good. But here's a little bit of advice I have as someone that's purchasing your part, installing your part. If you modify this just a little bit like this, I think it would be better. I don't know a lot of people that do that. I don't know a lot of businesses that would be receptive to that. But I will tell you a story. Back in 2004, I started building seats for American Iron Horse motorcycles. To date, I think I'm still the only person that manufactures aftermarket seats for American Iron Horse motorcycles. But I had a dealer back in 2005 told me, man, I love your product. I love what you're building. The concept is awesome. But if you build them like this, I'll sell so many of them, it won't even be funny. Now, I could have gotten all upset and been like, man, you take what you get. This is what I built. This is my company. But I didn't do that. What I did was I was like, okay, so on this model of seat, what would you do differently? And for those that don't know, you have the Texas Chopper, the Slammer, you have the Outlaw, you have the Legend, you have the Judge, the Bandera, the Tejas, the LSC, and there was two more in there that I think were just only 1 year production bikes. But those first 7 that I just told you about, 6 or though the first 8 that I just told you about, those are actually their staple bikes that they build all the time. So when I built these seats, I actually was like, man, if I do like this and I do it like that, when the customer told me, hey, look, if you'll do them like this, I will sell so many seats you won't even understand, because the number one complaint we have about these choppers is they only have suction cup seats. Nobody manufactures a 2-up seat for it. I manufacture a 2-up seat for it. If you don't know what a 2-up seat is it's a solo seat, and it has the back seat for the passenger, but it's all one seat. What they had before was just a front solo seat with a little suction cup pillion pad that sat on the fender. What I did was I manufactured a 2-person seat, one piece with a built-in sissy bar, bing, bada boom, done. Now you didn't have to spend the $1,500 for the upgrade to have the sissy bar put on the bike that you couldn't take off. I mean, I guess you could, but the mounting hardware would have to stay on the fender because you have to drill holes through the fender and everything. I made a seat that had a sissy bar built into the seat. The rest is history. The guy would buy anywhere from 20 to 30 of those seats a year. I mean, some years I couldn't even keep up with all of his orders. But I did what the customer asked. I took on his advice that what he would change, and I changed it for him because it was a good idea. Made me money. What's up, Dave Dupore? You're watching. I appreciate that. So my point behind all of this rambling and blah, blah, blah is how many customers bring up ideas to the manufacturers? Because I know there's a lot of manufacturers out there. I can name 3 of them right off the top of my head. 2 of them are what I consider personal friends of mine. 2 more of the manufacturers are acquaintances of mine, but the 2 manufacturers I'm referring to, Scott Owens and Scott Capalbo, both of those guys have spent many, many, many hours with me on the phone, talking to me, discussing anything from business to products, product development, what they've got going on. How can I personally be of any assistance to help any of these companies do anything they need to get done? And I'm not looking for payback. I'm not looking to make money off of them. I like seeing companies flourish. I like seeing people make money. I like seeing people do good. And if I have any type of assistance or any type of help that I could offer to help someone do better, I'm an asshole if I don't, in my opinion. That's just, you should be willing to help people. Now, on to that. When you're stuck in a situation where you know for a fact things are going on, are you the person that's going to step up and say something about it? Or are you the person that's going to sit back and say, well, not my circus, not my monkeys, let's just see what happens? I personally, depending on the situation and depending on the people, I will intervene. I will say something. If I feel like the person had it coming to them, I might just sit back and not say a fucking word. It just depends. And that is the hardcore honest truth from me. Um, Ivory Soap is the epitome of listening to the customer. First soap to float. Remember back then people were taking a bath? Tim, you lost me. I have no clue what that even means, bro. No clue. If you're trying to say I'm dirty, yes, I welded all day today, grind metal all day today, and then actually had to go see customers today, pick up parts today. I had such a busy day. It wasn't even funny. All right, let's get back to the motorcycle thing. So let's get back to the motorcycle thing. I see people build bikes in their garages. I see people build bikes in huge shops. I seen everybody from a upcoming, early, just getting started in the industry shops, all the way to some dude building it in his garage. There's so many cool people in this industry that there is no possible way I'm going to let the 10 idiots stop me from loving what I do, loving the people I meet, enjoying the time that I get to build what I get to build and do the things I get to do. I'm not going to let that little 10% ruin it for me. But I will say this. I know there's a lot of people headed to Philly right now. I don't know what the name of the damn show is because I'm not privy to all those things. And to be honest with you, I don't ever plan on being that knee deep into the audio game that I would know what that is, but it's something big that Ricky Will puts on in a mall up there somewhere. And I know a lot of people are going to that. If I'm not mistaken, it's an invitational. And I know people are headed there right now to go do that. So there's going to be some stuff all over the internet next week after it's all done. I think it's Friday, Saturday. It's over Sunday, I think. But I know next week, a lot of people are going to be back and a lot of people are going to be talking about who did this, what bike did that, who started acting like an asshole, who didn't act like an asshole. I mean, there's just going to be so much information next week about that show that I would also wonder that in that show, is there anybody going to stand up and say, hey, dudes, why take it so serious? We're just having fun. This is like the, dare I say, the Super Bowl of the audio industry, the audio game. I would love to give you guys more information about it, but Ricky Will doesn't want to talk with me because I don't know. He got mad at me for saying something or asking questions one time, which is totally cool. I understand. I just wish he would have called me and talked to me about it because I'd like to be privy to what's going on. I feel like I have a big enough crowd or a big enough following that I could actually, help what he's got going on. But anyway, that's for a different show and a different time. But anyway, so what I want you people, everybody, not just the motorcycle people, what I want everybody to understand about tonight's show is that, man, you can be rock solid on how you feel and what your views and what your opinions are. And I pat you on the back for that. But I know damn good and well your mom didn't raise you that way. So when you're talking to someone that doesn't feel the way you feel or this, that, and the other, just remember, you can be kind even if they're being an ass. That's that old verbiage. Hey, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. This new woke society about jumping in people's faces and being an asshole, all to get your opinion and your point across. It's kind of actually stupid. I'm not going to waste my time sitting here trying to argue with somebody because I have an opinion on what's going on and they have an opposing opinion on what's going on. I'm going to be like, you know what? You don't have to listen to me, but you don't have to sit here and talk to me like I'm an idiot. So why don't you go that way and I'm going to go that way. And then we'll just be done with this bullshit. It's very easy. Now, tonight's show is definitely going to be a little bit shorter, but I do want to get into the trivia questions that I told you guys about earlier in the beginning of the show. So, one of the first laws that I do know that was passed that I'm not sure if people in Texas know. Now, these laws are just pertaining to Texas. Okay. The first law, it happened in September 1st of 2023. It is the Texas passed a law explicitly making lane splitting and lane filtering illegal for motorcycles, meaning riders cannot zigzag between lanes of traffic to pass other vehicles. However, motorcycles are now allowed to utilize the full width of a lane while riding. This change was enacted through the House Bill 4122. So if you didn't know it, lane splitting is illegal. You can't do it. But they do, there's a little bit of lenience there depending on where you're at, okay? So the next law, I've heard this said, and I've heard it repeatedly said, that Texas passed a law that's called a no chase law, which means the cops are no longer allowed to do high speed chases with people that are on motorcycles. I don't know if you guys have heard this. I know it's been a topic for many, many, many years. It's at least the last 5 years. People are like, oh no, cops can't chase motorcycles. They can't do that. It's just not worth it. So realistically, there is no chase law for motorcycles in Texas. However, motorcycle pursuits are allowed and subject to the same laws and regulations as those involving regular motor vehicles. Another law. Okay, the dead red law. Okay, if you don't know, I'm going to explain it to you. The dead red law. Yes, Texas has implemented a dead red law, Texas Transportation Code 544.007, that requires all drivers, including motorcycle operators, to yield to traffic control devices that have gone dark due to power outages. So, you know, the big blinking, yielding lights that they have sitting on the side of the road. If that light stops blinking, but that piece of equipment is still sitting on the side of the road, you still have to act like that piece of equipment is working and do what the piece of equipment is telling you to do. Hypothetically, the blinking yellow light, which means come, slow down, and keep on going. Now, that same one, they put up the temporary stop signs. And let's say the temporary stop sign is flashing red, which means you should stop. If that light is off and it was a stop red one, if you go through that, you will get a ticket. You have to stop even though the light's not blinking. Okay. So that is the dead red law, is what that's called. Okay. Second thing, how young of a passenger can you have on a motorcycle? In the state of Texas, 5 years of age is the youngest passenger you can have. Now, Texas is a no helmet state, but there is an exception to that rule, or that, let me say, that law. So Texas, you don't have to wear a helmet unless you're 20 years old or younger. If you're 21, you don't have to wear a helmet, but you have to have the criteria, which is the insurance, and you have to have the a motorcycle's license. Now, if I have a passenger and they're like Cade's age, 11 years old, he has to have a helmet on. Let's say you're a new rider, a new motorcycle rider, and you're only 18 and you got a motorcycle license, you've been through the course and everything. You legally have to wear a helmet because you're not 21. It's 21 and up in the state of Texas to not have to wear a helmet. 20 and younger, you have to wear a helmet, even if you're riding by yourself. And that's it. So that's my my trivia for the night. And I'm going to try to be bringing you guys up more cool trivia throughout the next shows and things of that nature. And sometimes the trivia is definitely going to be motorcycle related, and sometimes it won't. But so I want to tell everybody, because I'm about to go. I don't want to just keep on but wearing you guys out with useless information. I'm actually going to be interviewing, which is not really an interview, it's more of a discussion. I'm going to try to have the discussion next week with Jay Ford. I was supposed to have it tonight, or let me rephrase myself. I wanted to have it tonight, but Jay Ford had to go to Philly. So there we go. Okay, Tim, that's good. I will be discussing racism in the motorcycle community with Jay Ford, hopefully next Thursday night. And I want to get as many people watching this because I don't see racism in the motorcycle industry. I never have. I know that back in the 60s and 70s, there was discrimination. And I'm sure to a degree it might have been racism, but it was more discrimination. But Jay Ford is telling me that there is still a lot of racism inside the motorcycle community. So Jay and I will be discussing that hopefully next Thursday night. So please tune in, because hopefully we can squash that bullshit now. I ain't got no time for racism. And I'm going to tell all you people that I don't care if you're black, if you're Asian, if you're Hispanic. I don't care if you're Guatemalan. I don't care if you're African. I don't care who you are. You're good to me, I'm going to be good to you. That's the end of it. The only person I know that can judge any human being is God, and I am not him. Therefore, I do not pass judgment. In the story. So tune in next Thursday night. Hopefully, we'll have that laid out, and we'll see you guys next week. If you have a topic you want me to discuss, man, shoot me a message. I will do the homework. I will get the information. I will do whatever you guys want, just shy of getting naked. Anyway, you guys go have a kick-ass week, and we will see you next Thursday night.